prints can completely elevate a look or ruin it in seconds. After 60, certain prints add unnecessary volume, distort your silhouette, and clash with the natural sophistication you already possess. It's not about limiting yourself to solid colors or avoiding prints forever, but rather about understanding that some types of prints work against you instead of in your favor. Here, I'll show you 7 prints that are constantly seen in shop windows, but in practice require great caution at this stage of life, and more importantly, which ones to wear instead to achieve a stylish and modern effect. These are strategic choices that make all the difference in the final result. Tiny, busy florals are in practically every collection, especially in spring and summer. Those prints full of tiny flowers crowded together, with lots of mixed colors and no breathing space between elements, are extremely common because they seem delicate and feminine. The problem is that when the flowers are too small and too close together, they create a visually confusing effect that leaves the eye unsure where to land. From a distance, the print turns into an indistinct texture, and up close it feels overly busy. Plus, very tiny florals tend to make the look childish. There's something about them that feels more like little girl clothes than those of a sophisticated woman. When too many colors compete in a small space, the result is that none of them truly stand out, and the entire look lacks clarity. If you love florals and don't want to give them up, the solution is to switch to prints with larger scale flowers and more space between the elements. A medium to large floral, where you can clearly identify each flower, brings presence and elegance. Choose prints with a neutral or dark background that lets the flowers breathe. This adds definition and sophistication. Florals with a reduced palette, using 2 or 3 colors at most, are infinitely more elegant than those with 10 different shades. A large floral on a black or navy background is always chic. Florals in shades from the same color family on a light background have delicacy without being childish. The rule here is clear. The more mature you are, the larger and more spaced out the floral print should be. Wide horizontal stripes appear on all kinds of casual pieces, from t-shirts to summer dresses. Those thick stripes, especially in classic combos like navy and white or black and white, may seem timeless and nautical, but in practice they create a horizontal expansion effect that adds visual volume where you probably don't want it. Very wide stripes draw attention to the body's width and can make you look larger than you really are. Moreover, depending on where the stripes fall on the body, they can create odd visual breaks that disrupt the silhouette's harmony. A wide stripe that lands exactly at the bust or stomach draws all the attention to those areas. The good news is that stripes themselves are elegant and timeless when you choose the right scale. Thin or medium stripes with balanced spacing elongate the silhouette instead of widening it. Vertical stripes are always your allies because they guide the eye up and down, creating a slimming effect. Even horizontal stripes can work when they're more discreet and proportionate. Another smart option is diagonal or asymmetrical stripes, which create movement and interest without adding width. A fine white and navy striped blouse is a classic that never fails. Vertical stripes in neutral tones elevate and refine any look. The secret is in the proportion. The thinner the stripe, the more elegant the effect. High contrast or fake-looking animal prints are extremely popular but need special attention. Those leopard prints with very black spots on a very light background, zebra with graphic stripes, or snake prints with overly defined and artificial patterns can appear too loud, even a bit tacky if not chosen carefully. The problem lies in the excessive contrast and lack of naturalness. When the animal print is too obvious and graphic, it becomes the main character of the look, and you become just the background for the print. Moreover, highly contrasting animal prints can add visual volume because the eye can't smoothly glide over the pattern. It jumps from one point of contrast to another. Animal print can be incredibly sophisticated and elegant when you choose the right versions. Look for prints with softer contrast, where the spots or stripes aren't overly graphic. A leopard print in caramel, brown, and beige tones, with more natural color transitions, has timeless elegance. Snake prints in earthy or grayish tones with more subtle patterns exude understated luxury. Even zebra works when the stripes are closer in tone, creating more of a textured effect than harsh contrast. The golden rule of animal print after 60 is to wear it in small doses and in refined versions: a blouse, a scarf, an accessory, and always in versions where the contrast has been softened to bring elegance, not shock. Tiny polka dots are another extremely common print that seems harmless but rarely flatters. Those pin-sized dots, no bigger than the head of a pin, create a confusing visual effect similar to tiny florals. From afar, they look like an undefined texture. Up close, they feel too busy. Very small polka dots also tend to make the look childish, evoking little girl clothes or vintage styles that don't necessarily convey the sophistication you want. On the other hand, oversized polka dots, the size of a tennis ball, can be overly theatrical and give off a costume-like effect that's also unflattering. The issue lies in the extremes. Too small creates confusion, too large becomes exaggerated. Medium-sized polka dots are the perfect solution for those who love this classic, fun print. Dots roughly the size of a coin have enough presence to show personality without going over the top. The background color also matters. Light polka dots on a dark background are more sophisticated than the reverse. White on navy, white on black, or even off-white on burgundy have instant elegance. You can also look for less traditional versions, like irregular or slightly elongated polka dots, which break from the obvious while maintaining charm. A blouse with medium white polka dots on a black background is a timeless classic. Polka dots in similar tones, like beige on caramel, create subtle interest without drawing too much attention. Before we go on, do you also waste time every day not knowing what to wear? If that's your situation, the Look Gallery solves it. It's 1,000 ready-to-wear outfits organized by weather and occasion. You open it on your phone, choose what makes sense for your day, and that's it, a complete outfit to copy, no thinking and no time wasted. Just scan the QR on the screen or click the pinned link. Small checks or tiny gingham are common in casual pieces and have that country-style appeal many people love. The problem is that very small checks create a visual vibration effect when you move. The little squares flicker and create an illusion of motion that tires the viewer's eyes and can even make you feel slightly dizzy. Additionally, very fine checks tend to add visual volume because they create too much surface texture. When checks are too tiny, especially in traditional combos like red and white or blue and white, there's also the risk of looking like a picnic tablecloth. Definitely not the vibe you're going for. Larger scale checks with more generous and defined squares are much more refined and sophisticated. A medium check where you can clearly see the print structure without effort creates visual interest without confusion. Choose checks in more refined color combinations: gray and black, caramel and off-white, navy and olive green. The classic Prince of Wales check, with its structured and discreet pattern, is always elegant. Even tartan works when it's the right scale and in well-tailored pieces. The key is choosing checks that have presence and clarity, not those that create visual clutter. A blazer with a medium check is a timeless investment. A Prince of Wales check skirt conveys effortless sophistication, very busy or psychedelic. Abstract prints are less common but do show up, especially in collections trying to be modern and bold. Those prints full of overlapping geometric shapes, clashing vibrant colors, lines going in all directions, swirls, and random abstract elements with no clear organization create visual noise that rarely flatters anyone. The problem is that these prints are so busy they become the only element of the outfit. You disappear completely behind the print. Also, very psychedelic or chaotic prints can add bulk because the eye can't read the silhouette clearly. It gets lost trying to process all that visual information. If you like abstract and geometric prints, and they can be very modern and interesting, look for versions with clear visual structure. Geometric prints with orderly repetition, where there's rhythm and structure to the pattern, create interest without confusion. Abstracts with a limited palette, using 2 or 3 colors at most, have impact without overwhelming. You can also opt for geometric prints in shades from the same color family, creating depth through nuance rather than harsh contrast. A geometric print in blue tones from light to dark is sophisticated and modern. Linear abstracts with lines organized in clear patterns have a contemporary elegance. The secret is choosing prints with intention and visual structure, not chaos. Prints with excessive shine or metallics are the least common on this list, but deserve attention when they appear. Those prints with lots of lurex, sequins woven into the fabric, or metallic foil creating exaggerated reflections might seem festive, but can easily veer into tacky or over-the-top territory. The problem is that too much shine draws attention in a way that may not be the most elegant. Instead of subtly glowing, these prints shout for attention in an unsophisticated way. Also, heavily metallic fabrics tend to be less comfortable and can create that gift wrap effect that flatters no one. If you want to add shine to your look, and there are moments when a touch of glow is perfect, go for more discreet and sophisticated versions. A subtle metallic thread running through a solid fabric, creating delicate reflections, is elegant. Prints with small, localized metallic details, not all over, add interest without going overboard. You can also choose fabrics with natural shine, like silk or satin, which have luminosity without needing artificial metallics. A blazer with subtle gold thread is sophisticated for evening. A silk blouse with natural sheen delivers effortless luxury. The rule here is always, less is more. Shine should be a detail that enhances, not the main event that overwhelms. Now I want to hear from you. Which of these prints are you still wearing without realizing? Or which one have you already set aside because you noticed it no longer flatters you? And if you have other print suggestions that should be added to this list, let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about your experience too.